Hello, and welcome to Miss Wheeler's Health and Physical Education for a Lifetime website. This will be a physical education class for 7th graders with an emphasis in health education as well. So with that being said, what I basically want my students to accomplish and learn is not only how to throw, catch, and kick and dribble any type of ball for a different sport, but to also learn the critical elements of every traditional sport in the sense of knowing where you need to have your entire body placed to perform that sport and activity to the fullest, along with sports and education of knowing how to properly execute follow-throughs of different movements. I want to focus on our diet. The diet is key to performing extremely well, telling my students what to eat, what not to eat, and how often to eat that certain type of food throughout the week. Also, one huge thing that I think is avoided is the heart rate. The importance of the heart rate and knowing which activities will increase the heart rate more so than others. So that will help students to fully know which activities they need to take part in. If that week they're not physically active as much as they usually are, they can set a day to where, I'm going to really put in my aerobic exercises to get my heart pumping, or maybe do anaerobic, more of weightlifting, things of that nature to help their muscles and especially their heart to pump all the nutrients through their body. With all of that being said earlier on what just the basics of what I want to cover for this unit plan, the assessment for me as a teacher is to really ensure that for this class specifically, my students live a long and happy life. And in order to do so, we need those 3 things I mentioned earlier: a nutritious, well-balanced diet, physical activity, whether it be sports or activities that you may enjoy doing, and then heart rate as well, keeping track of that, learning how to find the heart rate and what activities increase that even more. So this is going to be the assessment plan for this class. So right below here I have a nice little chart set up. So to begin with, we're going to start with the entry level, and that's going to complete just a basic survey to see what you know and don't know. So that will be fairly easy, not very stressful or anything like that. Next, we're going to be doing a beginning of the school year class discussion, where we're going to share with others what you know about physical education and what you think health is and what all of that entails, along with some really informative lectures and lecture notes. I have handouts for you to easily follow along in that assignment. Also, we will be brainstorming topics with classmates and myself, and then we'll learn further about reliable resources and what those entail and which ones are not reliable and why they're not reliable. So you'll get a little sense of some research and learning what sources work and which ones don't. So I think your English teachers will appreciate that from me. Also, we'll be doing our final assignment, but first we'll do a rough draft of our paper. We'll do a little peer review just to kind of see what you all know and how you can help each other out, and then you'll be turning in the final research paper towards the end of the year. This is the survey I was referring to minutes ago. This is just going to be basic information telling me what you know about physical education, maintaining health, healthy eating habits, and also benefits to staying active and your heart rate. So just whenever you have a chance, take your time, go through and really answer these questions to the fullest that you can, and just know this is a basic thing. It's nothing that I need to expect you to know everything, but just a little thing for me to know where the class is at. And then following the survey, or we have more information about the research paper. So basically with that, I will help you through it, guide you. It's going to be 3 to 4 pages. I would like to have a cover page. Also, it needs to be at a full length. You can include relative images as well, as long as the text is according to the length that is necessary. And that's going to be written on, let's see, any of these topics here. It's going to be, you could do the effects of physical movement in adolescents and young adults. You could do how to properly recover from physical activities or exercise. Also, you can do research on what types of foods are not good for athletes and why. Explain sugar intake, things of that nature, and you can also relate that to competition as well. So that might be really fun to look up. And then we have the research paper rubric. It's going to be focused on grammar, types of resources that you use, the coverage of topics, which is what I just mentioned moments ago. And then, like I said, if you want to include some images, you are more than welcome to do so. And then the structure of the paper, and then page requirements. A lot of those are just easy things that shouldn't be an issue for any of my students. Just following along and reading the directions. So for Weber size, this is going to entail some basic information again. I'll start from the top here. I want you to list some foods that you enjoy eating. You can be completely honest here, just to kind of get your mind started with thinking, because I know sometimes it's not always easy, so I'll start off easy for you. And then I'm going to have you go to this little website here, which is basically just a list of different types of foods that can be good for you. You got your proteins, your vegetables, simple carbs, things of that nature. So this is a really useful website to know what kind of foods you can eat and help you to get everything that you need for nutrition-wise. And with that website, you're going to make your breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the week. This is going to help you to really be planning out what you can and can't eat, and I want to hear your results of how you felt that week, how easy it was to get that food, how difficult it might have been, but this is a little chart that I will have you fill out. That's one little assignment that we have as well. Next, we're going to focus on the heart rate, like I mentioned earlier. So what I'm going to have my students do is we're going to do hands-on activities here. So certain YouTube videos entail of having a group of students either play bowling or do 25 passes with a frisbee. After that, you're going to measure your heart rate. I have a really cool video on how we can measure heart rate, but you'll have to check that out later. Also, we have another useful website that's going to help you to pick different types of activities that you can learn about heart rate in different types. So handball you can do, and you can find out little activities and things of that nature that can allow you to move around and even teach the class certain activities, because we will do a little bit of that to where I'll have you teach your fellow classmates how to do certain activities, so that'll be really fun. Speaking of teaching our classmates how to do certain activities in sports, this graphic organizer is going to highlight that. So the top of the page, it's just going to basically explain what I'm going to tell you right now. So be sure to read what's in red especially, but all of that's really important up there. So we have resources down here, which is going to be how to throw a ball, different techniques, how to kick a soccer ball, how to dribble a basketball, and basically what I'm going to have you as my students do is I'll scroll right down to it. For example, I did soccer, so we're going to do 3 different skills. my first skill that I chose was kicking, and we're going to do the critical elements of kicking. So you need your stance and a picture of what the stance looks like with a description. After that, I did the contact of the foot on the ball, so this clearly shows where that needs to be and what kind of kick. So we're doing a inner foot kick, so it's going to be on the inside of the foot, which can then be a pass as well, where your eyes need to be. So when you're receiving the ball and we're kicking the ball, your eyes need to be on the ball. Also the follow through, so just learning how to properly execute that and kick it correctly. So that was just my example. You would do 2 other critical elements of soccer if you wish to do so. It is a traditional sport, so keep to traditional sports, not anything like lacrosse or anything crazy like that for now. So that's going to be for the graphic organizer. Another great resource for all of these assignments really is going to be my lecture. And I basically cover pretty much everything we've gone over, maybe not as detailed in sports, but it is going to get your mind going. It's going to allow you to talk to fellow classmates. But basically we're going to be focusing on what heart rate means and what it means to eat right. So I'm going to go through that, and then I have specific definitions from reliable sources to give us a definition of eating right, and for heart rate, what exactly that is. And then along with some multiple choice questions just to kind of get you thinking a little bit. And then, like I mentioned earlier, going over how to increase blood flow throughout the heart and the body. And that all depends on the muscles in your heart, if they're strong enough to withhold and pump out more blood. So certain things that can help with that. And then just talking specifically why blood is a very important substance in our body and why sugar can kind of hinder that, and sugar levels can play a negative role on the body, especially before exercise. And then targeting again towards food. It is fuel to our body, so we need to make sure that we get the correct fruits and vegetables. I do provide some lists of different fruits and vegetables and which ones we may get more of and less of. I know personally some of these things I don't even think about eating because it's just not something that is seen to the human eye on a daily basis. So that's why this is a really good thing, and that website earlier is a good website to go to and refer to. And then I have certain things we need to avoid, all the good stuff. You can do that in moderation though, that's definitely not a problem. And then the proteins that we can ingest that help our muscles and other parts of our body. And then we have our dairy, and that's pretty much it for that. The follow along worksheet, that is really easy to take notes with. It kind of just reiterates what you know, and writing and following along during the lecture. And the images that I have on the worksheet are similar to the one in the PowerPoint, so that definitely helps you to follow along. And as I talk through my lecture, you can write down what I say and study this all later. Other than that, we have some brainstorming right here too. You can fill in the box answering the question, so be creative and fun with that. And then focusing on sugar again here, giving me examples of different types of foods. Let's see, and then we schedule some more meal plans. And then we have a quick little quiz. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Thank you.